Hi and welcome back to the Sunday Stroll. Today's question of the week is, what is your favourite movie soundtrack? Now, who better to answer a music question than Colossal Vids? Dan, over to you.
The first one I would go with would be the Titanic soundtrack. Now, the Titanic soundtrack for me is just phenomenal. I grew up watching the film and listening to the soundtrack as well because it was out in 1997. And it's just incredible. It really, really is. You know, anything from the instrumentation that's used, piano, lush strings, the percussion, the synth choirs, the real choirs, to then the emotional qualities that basically just pour through the album, to all the adrenaline-fueled stuff as well, and the ship sinking and how sinister it is and how intense it goes with the rhythms and everything. It's just the perfect album and music to accompany the film. And it wouldn't be as successful as it was without the music. I generally believe that. Now, when it comes to the album, it's not just me that thinks that. It sold over 30 million copies. So there's a hell of a lot of people out there that also agree.
Now for my first pick, now hear me out on this one because I know some of you are going to laugh your arse right off at this. But I'm going to go with the Prince movie, Purple Rain. So yeah, very cheesy 80s movie, but you know, the soundtrack is amazing. If you're a Prince fan like me, then you can't go wrong with this soundtrack because it's got some of his most like famous hits in there, stuff like that. So yeah, you've got like his slow kind of ballad stuff to, you know, highlight the down times, the sad times, and then you've got his upbeat stuff to, you know, represent the happy times and stuff like that. It just goes hand in hand with this music, with this movie and its atmosphere and stuff like that. And yeah, you've also got a bit of Morris Day and the Time in there as well to bring a little funk along. So you know, you can't go wrong, can you? Very cheesy movie, very cheesy songs on the soundtrack and stuff like that. But yeah, like I say, they just kind of pair with each other really well. So yeah, I'm going to go with Prince's Purple Rain.
The first one would be the Forrest Gump soundtrack. Absolute beautiful soundtrack. Really chilled, really relaxing, as you might expect from the film of, Forrest Gump's standing as such. But there's a beautiful track which plays at the beginning and at the end. I can't remember what it's called. It's kind of like a piano piece. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So first pick for soundtracks is Forrest Gump.
My first one, I think probably Jurassic Park. It's just got that really iconic big movie blockbuster orchestra feel to it. It's just really iconic, and I really like that sort of music. It sort of goes in the same sort of line as Star Wars and Indiana Jones, Back to the Future. It's that sort of music. So yeah, it just sounds really epic. So I would go for Jurassic Park, and it really just does take me back to the 90s when the original movie came out.
So for my second choice, I'm going to go with a fairly recent movie, and that is the Ryan Gosling movie Drive. Modern day movie, but kind of set in like an 80s kind of era with like an 80s kind of B-movie feel to it. And the soundtrack to that is just amazing. Really good kind of electronic synth wave kind of soundtrack that you would expect to capture the essence of that movie. Yeah, it's got all the right tones, you know what I mean? It builds up the drama, the excitement and stuff like that, and yeah, it just really captures the essence of that era and that feel they was going for. So yeah, when you make a movie, a modern day movie that captures like an 80s feel, you need the right kind of soundtrack or it's going to fail. And yeah, I just think they captured it perfectly in this movie, so that's why I'm going to go for Drive.
Okay, second piece of soundtracks I would choose as one of my favourites. Again, this is really, really hard because there are so many. There's so many class soundtracks out there. But no soundtrack would be complete without a Hans Zimmer score. And one of my favourite soundtracks is that of Backdraft. So the Kirk Russell, William Baldwin film where they play firefighters, and yeah, pretty badass. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a fireman, so that kind of came out at the same time as I was really wanting to be a fireman, so that kind of resonated with me a little bit. but the actual music and the actual score in that is really thudding, really sort of like powerful. You know, it kind of captures the whole fire thing really well. So yeah, Hans Zimmer, Backdraft.
Okay, and the second soundtrack that I would choose if I was absolutely pushed for an answer would be the Jurassic Park soundtrack. What can I say about that soundtrack and the franchise other than it's absolutely phenomenal? It just really is. The original 3 films, and I even love the Jurassic World films as well, of course, but there's just something about the original film, and I suppose the Lost World as well, that just, for me, it's just too good. It's too good. And the soundtrack does nothing but complement what's going on screen so perfectly. And just like the Titanic soundtrack as well, La La Land Records actually released an expanded score of that as well. Although apparently now it's no longer available. You can't actually get it on the website anymore, and apparently it's now out of print. I mean, both soundtracks have been limited to 5,000 copies anyway, so I'm guessing they've all been sold, which I suppose if that's the case, just goes to show how incredible they are and how popular and how much people love them for that to happen. But just like the Titanic soundtrack, it's just fantastic. Like, it's so emotional, the main theme is so beautiful. There's a scene in the original film where they find an injured Brachiosaurus, and there's a title track on the actual album that's called My Friend the Brachiosaurus. And if you play that, if you haven't heard it, at least the first section of it, it's just not just beautiful, but it's like, it can easily like make you well up, because it's so sad. But it's just absolutely out of this world. It really, really is. And then obviously when it gets going even more so, when, you know, the dinosaurs appear, when they're running away from them, and how the music carries the narrative forwards, and how the instrumentation is just used so impressively, and how John Williams, who's an absolute genius of course anyway, having done E.T., Harry Potter, and countless other scores, Hook of course is another one, how he just blended everything together and just created the perfect score. He really, really did.
Second one, I want to go for something a little bit more upbeat and a bit more fun. And I was thinking about movie soundtracks I had when I was younger. And the one which sort of sticks out to me was the original Turtles movie soundtrack. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, was a really big deal back in the 90s when it came out. Turtle power was a huge rage at the time, and I just remember getting that. I think we got it copied on cassette, and yeah, I just remember playing it over and over again and rapping along to Turtle Power, which was a bit sad now. I don't know what the song's like anymore. Maybe I should look it up. I'm sure it's on YouTube. Yeah, so the original Turtles movie. So there we go, that's our answers. Hope you liked them. If you did, please leave a comment below. Maybe thumb up the video, that would be really good. And if you want to know any more information about the series or any of the people on it, then go over to our Facebook group. And we'll see you next Sunday. Thanks for watching. Cheers.